All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. If you've not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here today with a little bit of a gap up. Looked like kind of a, well, I wouldn't call it a gap and go kind of day, but it had the look of one earlier on, but I never really thought we were going to break out here. Again, I talked to you guys about this on Friday and Thursday, that we're likely to go into digestion mode here, and that is the case. We did round trip back to 5,300 at one point. We're going to get a little bit of a, looks like we're going to close right above that. Currently, you can see here the GEX moving around as we get closer to the end of the day. Yeah, right into the 53.05 area. They're going to kind of pin us right in that area. But either way, it's not of much consequence again. So right now, what we're looking at is we had a short-term overbought market. Again, 200-point extension from that 20-day moving average. That's quite a bit. Usually, that's going to lead to either consolidation or a reversal. In this case, right now, all we've seen is consolidation. So right now, the market can just base here. And if it wants to, it can just ping pong between this previous all-time high, which coincides with the low from last Wednesday on the SPX, right around 52.65, and then you've got 53.25 on the upside. So right in that range, we can just ping pong there and then base for a higher move. If we break through this area, then it's likely we'd probably go down and test 5,200 first. Maybe even a little bit lower. You know, there's 51.50 in this area. If we really tip 5,100, I don't really expect us to get that far down. You know, we could easily just retrace to the 20 DMA too, wherever that is. So, you know, at some point this is going to just kind of inch up, right? And, you know, we could just come down and meet it somewhere, right? So that's certainly a possibility, but I don't really see any anything, you know, anything more than that outside of, you know, outside of that right now at the moment. Obviously, if something changes, I'll let you know, but it does look like market's just doing some cooling off here, as, you know, it needed to. It was up, you know, from 5,100 to 53.25 in like 10 days. So pretty big move there. And volume right now is very light too. And if we pull back on light volume, it's also not bearish. Is it just a sign that we're just kind of cooling off that overbought condition? Take a look here. Not even 30 million shares, guys. Again, that's like I keep saying this, but it keeps happening, right? It's like Thanksgiving. It's like the day after Thanksgiving, day before Christmas, that type of stuff. By the way, we will have Memorial Day weekend this weekend, so next Monday we'll be off. Markets will be closed. So again, as we get closer to that, you may see even the volume dry up even more as you got, you know, funds and managers and traders and stuff taking off for that holiday weekend. But right now, inside of this range, likely noisy chop until NVIDIA earnings. And that's going to be Wednesday after the bell. And you know, which way is it going to go? I mean, you know, we got 5 or 6 firms just FOMO pumping this today with, look at all these price upgrades. You know, they all happened first thing this morning, but there was like, yeah, look at this. Upgrade. You know, there was like 4 or 5 or 6 of them today. So they're just pumping the hell out of this. I don't know. Druck's out of 71% of his stake, and that's with all the piker firms pumping it. So I don't know. Maybe it goes to 1,000. It just seems priced for perfection here, and I don't know. The market makers have had a handle on this for a while. By the way, we're now coming up in a year on the anniversary of the great pump of 2023 that saved the market. If you'll recall, remember we were very close here to a rollover, and then that pump led to that second half of the year rally. But either way, they've had control over this, right? Ever since this big move, we have not seen big pumps. We've seen the big pump up, and then it ends up being a pump and dump, and then a big consolidation here. Same thing here. So we'll see what happens here. I think chips are kind of slowing down, and competition's heating up with NVIDIA. It's going to come down to their margins. I know I've said that repeatedly, but there's nothing else to really talk about until that happens. But either way, that'll be the big move here. Triple Qs here, you can see had a little bit of a fake breakout here intraday, but again, with the light volume, so much liquidity, right? Just snatched right back up. Didn't even make it to anywhere close to the low of the day, and that's why you always want to be neutral bullish in a light volume chopping environment here. So again, 30 seconds left in the day. I just got to see this here. because there's going to be a little bit of a pop in volume at the close. I just want to see what we actually close at here with the spiders officially. But pretty, I mean, just amazingly light here. So now we're up to 30. We'll get to like 32, 33 probably with that market on close volume going off. But just unbelievable how light the volume is here for it to not be a holiday and see this type of action. So there it is, 31. So 30, yeah, so 33 and a half right there at the end. So that's still right. That's less than here. So anyway, Russell 2000 here having a decent day, up 52 cents. It did pull back a little bit more. Remember, rates getting a little bit of a bounce. Take a look at ZB pulling back in. Russell's a little bit more rate sensitive. So that makes sense there. I still think rates will continue up a little bit here. I'm not seeing new highs anytime soon though, but they should get some type of a bounce. Dow here down $1.85. That did pull back. JPM, so the big headline today was Jamie Dimon coming out. He said he's cautiously pessimistic. He said he was not going to do buybacks on JPM. He did throw out the idea of stepping down as well, but he did say that it would be like years from now. I think it just looks like a profit taking here to me, but pretty good volume though on JPM, and you know it did slice down to the 200, the 20 DMA. You got the 50 right below that, and then yeah, you got some pivots down here, so some support. Bank's still pretty strong though. Goldman did was down a little bit in sympathy. Pretty good outside move. They are a little stretched right now, so that does make sense. But that was the big story of the day, and that did pull the Dow down. I think UNH, yeah, UNH down as well. So a couple of stocks there pulling the DIA down. SMH here today was pretty strong, so up 2%. Little 1-2 pullback and then a pop. We'll see if it follows through tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get, there's the SOX double top there, and then the SMH obviously right there. I don't know. Are we going to get too much through this? I don't think so. It'd be interesting too. Do we pop above this on NVIDIA earnings and close the week below? So that'll be something we'll be watching by the end of the week. Do chips do that or not? But a lot of noise going on today, tomorrow, and into Wednesday. IGV, nice follow through here. Again, with this as well, we'll see by the end of the week. Does it stay above by Friday? Probably, because you have a failed inside bar here. So you close above that red bar, that's bullish. So good move there for the IGV. 86, 87 area. Let me just throw a fib on there real quick, because yeah, there's that red bar. So you're into the 618 now. So we'll see, maybe it stalls out here. There's a couple of levels in here, but yeah, good move for the IGV. It's holding up. We'll leave it there. Dow Transport's here, another weak session. So again, this continues to be weak. And again, that 618 is held. If you were looking at this, you'd think the market was not doing well right now, but it is. So lots of other sectors helping out. Transport's weak. There's plenty of room for a higher low, but just not very strong here. I'd say your next level is right around 15.3. Yeah, 15.3, 15.35 in that area. It can try for a higher low there, but again, still not a good chart. And you guys know I have not liked the transports for a while. All right, so rates here were pretty strong today. The two-year was actually pretty good. The yield, that is. Bounce here, and then continue to rally. That was the strongest. It closed right at the highs of the day. 5-year here again, 1, 2, 3 up. Got some resistance in that area, and 10-year hitting me. Sorry, holy make a sneeze there. I failed. All right, the 10-year hitting this trend line. We figured a bounce would come off of that, and it has. Next objective is getting above that red bar on a closing basis. We're basically right there. This still could have lower highs in this area, 4.5, and then 4.6 is still resistance, and then the 30-year is the weakest. So right around 4.65, there's some resistance there as well. But again, they're getting a bid. I do think that continues here for the next week or so. I think that puts a little bit of pressure on stocks that may be conducive to a pullback, as I've mentioned multiple times. And we could see that. So again, that's really all I'm expecting right there. XHB here having a fractionally positive day. Won't make too much out of that. That's still a little bit on the weaker side though. Again, a little bit more rate sensitive, and rates are up, so that's putting some pressure there. VNQ, we talked about this. I don't like that gap. I don't like that island. So we'll see. You have a gap here, and then 83.25. That's going to be your big level. If you can't hold that, then it's going lower. But right now, holding up okay. XLF down 56 cents again with JPM. Took a little bit of a hit. Weekly, you did close above, so I like that. But it is backing off today. We'll see where that closes the end of the week. KRE under pressure. Look at our trend line there. Nice rejection. So that's going to have to put in a higher low if it wants to get through that. And then KBE outside move down. Maybe a little bit of an island on there on the daily. But weekly is still very strong. This can put in a higher low and break out if it wants to. But may need a little bit more time. And then broker dealer is just fractionally lower here. No problems there except for the monthly. Oil here was actually very strong early on and then closed red. So it's interesting. Oil is very interesting right now. It has kind of a W pattern here on the 4-hour. If it can break up, it can get to 81. But I don't like the rejection here. Each time it tries to get to 80, they come in and they push it down. So oil's still pretty weak here. And the longer this basis, the more this is bear flag-esque. You have a lot of demand right here. So it's going to take a while. It's either going to take a while or it's going to take a lot of power to break through that. But I'll say this. Iran's president got assassinated yesterday and oil was red. That's not good for oil. That's just not a good sign. So, again, kind of neutral to bear here, I'd have to say. If we were just green, I would give it the upside bias to 81. But that's not good when you see that. I mean, like, talk about like the most bullish news imaginable for oil and it can't rally. Never a good sign. XLE down 62 cents. This still had a nice day on Friday though, so nothing terrible. So still think that's okay. XOP was green up 72. And OIH above these levels here. I like OIH. It's doing good. Although it came off the highs, but I like that you got above that, 328, 329 area. Actually, yeah, right there, 329 exactly. You still got resistance with these red candles in the 340 area, but the chart looks okay. It's in decent shape. CCJ new highs. Again, bullish inside bar and continuation. URNM, bullish inside bar, continuation. URNJ, bullish inside bar, continuation. I've been very consistent about that. Did come off the highs though, but still strong. Nat gas is getting a little overbought here. I'd consider shorting it. I know I said stay away from it, but if it gets extreme extended, I would consider it. If you could 100% retrace the M contract move to January, I think it gets pretty attractive. So right there, massive breakdown, right? Down, retrace, that's where the sellers should be sitting. N, same kind of look. In that 3 area. So I'd be interested in maybe doing that there. But it's got to get extreme extended for me. I'd prefer doing it a little closer to June, like middle June. But yeah, we'll see if it gets there. I don't trust the continuous contract because these gaps are not indicative of where price actually was. And it doesn't represent where actual buyers and sellers are. Dollar index here held up today. So up 16 basis points. Still got resistance at 105, but weekly time frame still got a bullish inside bar. And that could set up this week into next week for a pop. But needs a little bit more consolidation, needs to firm up a little bit more. Gold holding up, new all-time high, not a closing high. Oh, no, I checked that. It is a new closing high, but we didn't close above the pivot. I'm watching this for the end of the week, too. Does it close above that pivot? If it closes above that topping tail, then it can go higher, and it can continue to rally. Silver should get up to 35. Little spinning top doji, though, with volume, so maybe some sellers starting to come in. I don't like the action that I'm seeing from a long-term point of view. I think precious metals do go higher. I don't want you to get the wrong idea here. Then I know that I talked about this a little bit on Twitter earlier, but every time PMs go parabolic, it leads to a disinflation or some type of a bust. That doesn't mean we can't go a lot higher. But I don't like vertical moves. I don't like going straight up. It's not healthy in the long run. So playing into that, I could see maybe disinflation. I'm not against the idea. Again, I've always said I'm bearish bonds long term, but there will be cyclical counter cyclical shocks. So I wouldn't be against that idea. Now, again, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not saying short precious metals. I'm not saying precious metals are topping out. I'm not saying anything like that. But this price action, the longer it goes on like this, the less healthy it is. just something to consider there. Again, I'm getting way ahead by even mentioning that, but just keeping an eye on that in the long run. I traded through precious metals, boom and bust in 2009 to 2012. So I do know what it looks like. I traded that whole silver run, made a ton of money, and when I was very young, I got lucky and I sold silver at 46. Maybe that was just trader's intuition. I don't know. I was very young at the time, so, but I had the same thoughts. We're nowhere close to that right now, though. I just want to throw that out there for the future, though. But, silver holding up, though. I should at least get to 35 before any sort of major resistance. Platinum engulfing candle. That may top out here for a little bit. But what I like is my favorite, palladium, took up the leadership here and was up 3%. So finally getting above 1,000. Got above all these, well, we're not above all these pivots yet. What it really needs to do, though, is get above that 200. So if we go back, you haven't really, this was still kind of early. Last time we were above the 200 moving average, but we haven't touched it in so long. And you now have those higher lows. You can even see, if you need a visual, you can see the RSI here. Notice how the divergence here is starting to play out. We're starting to curl back up. If you get above that 200, it should have legs. So again, I've been banging my fist on the table for this to be a catch-up trade, and I think it will be. Anyway, copper here, new all-time high, not a new all-time closing high. I'm very interested to see where this closes the week. So does it close the week above that? But it's still really strong. Again, what happens when it goes straight up? Again, it's still a good monthly base, but just keep these things in your mind because at some point you're going to want to be scaling out of every bull market, and you don't want to get caught up in the euphoria. So just something to consider. Again, I'm not saying they're a short, I'm not saying they're a sell, nothing like that. But when you go parabolic, it's unsustainable. It doesn't matter if it's stocks, ETFs, precious metals, wheat, anything. Speaking of wheat, another good day today. I've been watching that. Soybeans curl back up. Been giving these levels out for free too. So told you guys I like soybeans here. Nice curl back up, and wheat still acting pretty well too. Needs a higher high here. All right, anyway, Bitcoin acting well. So looking a lot more like a bull flag. And I've come on here, by the way, alts acting well. Look at ETH. So alts getting a good bid today. Look at Solana curling back up. Not bad. Got to get above that red bar. But anyway, Bitcoin here. So now I'm going to really talk about this mini inverse head and shoulders. I haven't really talked about it that much because we were too close to the neckline. But now we can do a target. Look at that. Right to new all-time high. By a touch, right? Just kind of a double top. So I think we'll probably go there. We're above this trend line too. We should go test the highs. Do we break out? I don't know, but I have been also banging my fist on the table saying everybody was calling for, Bitcoin's going to crash because it went up too fast. As long as the weekly chart is okay, it's fine. 20 MA can catch up to price. Oh, look, exactly that happened. We kissed the 20 MA on the weekly, and it's fine. It's working that off through time, and that is bullish. So no damage on the weekly. Could it have broken down to 52? It's possible, right? There's nothing to say it couldn't have happened, but it didn't. So there it is. It's bullish. So Bitcoin's still holding up right back into, guess where? Previous all-time high. Might need to stall out with that and fight with that for a little bit, but I don't see any issues here. Oh, by the way, Coinbase. Somebody asked me about this last week in a live stream. Look at that. Falling wedge. Peaking above right now. So anyway, spiders here. Again, quiet. Little pop in volume there in the end of the day. If we pull back on light volume, there's nothing wrong with it. I think we could do a little bit more potentially. Look at that. Even with the after hours, 37 and 37 million, very light. But yeah, below here, we pull back a little bit steeper. If we stay in here, we just base and we move up. That's my base case right now. Outside of that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.